Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to offer my amendment to prohibit any funding to finalize, implement, or enforce the Federal Acquisition Regulation Council's proposed Federal Acquisition Regulation Disclosure of Greenhouse Emissions and Climate-Related Financial Risk Rule. Mr. Speaker, this disastrous rule proposed by the Federal Acquisition Regulation Council has numerous constitutional, national security, and practical concerns, none of which have been adequately addressed by the Federal Acquisition Regulation Council, otherwise known as FAR, nor has the Council on Environmental Quality done its due diligence, and both agencies have pushed for this rule in spite of lack of due diligence. First and foremost, this rule requires all federal contractors that do business of more than $50 million with the federal government to disclose all Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions. This includes everything from emissions produced by the contractor to the emissions produced by mere office supplies that they buy for their employees. We debated the ridiculousness of Scope 3 emissions earlier, but this is simply not practical or helpful to the American people. This rule also seeks to require major federal contractors to comply with the Paris Climate Accords, a flawed deal which has never been ratified by the Senate. But the most objectionable part concerning this rule is the requirement that companies set climate targets and then have them validated by a company called Science-Based Targets Initiative, or SBTI. SBTI is a foreign, and I emphasize, a foreign London-based company which inherently has national security concerns. Under this rule, every major federal contractor, including companies critical to our national security, are required to provide this foreign company with information about all of their Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, and then strategize with this foreign company about how to reduce them. Despite the existence of numerous American-based companies that could fill the same role, the FAR Council and CEQ chose a foreign company as the named sole source provider. Why, we query? Because SBTI is nothing but a front for Democratic donors and Democratic advocacy groups. SBTI is owned by the We Mean Business Coalition, which is a project of the New Venture Fund, which is managed by the famous Arabella Advisors. Arabella Advisors, for those who do not know, is the George Soros-funded left-wing advocacy group that funnels dark money to left-wing causes and candidates. To summarize, the Biden administration has named this subsidiary, one of their top donors, left-wing dark money organizations, as the sole source provider for all climate validating for all major federal contractors. During a hearing in the Space Science and Technology Committee on this rule, even the Democrats' witness said that the SBTI was a poor choice for this role, yet the Biden administration continues to forge ahead with this rule anyway. I look forward to continue to work with my colleagues on Space Science and Technology Committee to get the bottom of this rule's suspicious creation, and I continue to urge the committee to subpoena CEQ Chair Brenda Mallory to answer these concerns so the American people know why this is continuing. Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, and with that I reserve.